Good evening. You're very welcome, and I'm looking forward to joining you for the next hour. My name is Bridie Hughes, and I'm here on Bridges of Light to talk to you about, I suppose the title we could call it, All Things Spiritual. When starting on the path of becoming aware, hi Joanne and Amy, you're quick on the ball this evening. When you start looking at mediumship and looking at psychic awareness, I think it's good for, hi Francis, how are you? It's good to kind of go into the background of it and get to understand the whole workings of it, because we're all very familiar with being psychic and being mediumistic, and they're all words that's very familiar. But there's other aspects of it that's not talked about so much, and that's the reality of it. Is it's very much present at this point in time, but it's more gone underground, and there probably is good reasons maybe for that happening. What I'm really talking about is physical mediumship, and you know that the modern mediumship and spiritualism of today. Hi Tony, you got here. Tony's all the way from California, and John, hello, and Ashley. When we talk about the physical mediumship side of things, it can take with it a fear of something, and it's very, very it's something where it's very complex. It's very much something that I suppose we don't have the logical explanation as to how it happens. So I think for these reasons, people are a bit skeptical, and it is right to be skeptical. Never accept something just because you're told it, because you have to feel it. You have to become that it's part of you. Our modern spiritualism was born out of physical mediumship, and why I say that is that it was from wrappings and becoming aware of someone trying to communicate very directly that everyone around was able to hear. Now, I suppose in honesty, if you were sitting wherever you're sitting now and you started to hear knocks on a door or knocks on a wall, you probably would get scared. I think I'd probably be out the door. But no, if children had the open mind that was able to start to communicate, and when you have, I think it's the restrictions we put on ourselves that is the difficulty in all of this metaphysical area. We want to stay within safety parameters. What we can't explain, we can build a fear of. So, you know, there is value to some of it, but it's nice to actually be able to just explore. And for, like I say, so many mediums here, and I'm sure for you, you've done a lot of the reading up and becoming aware of history and what has been happening over the years. Again, I'm going to say to you, when there's a question that you want to ask, that it triggers a question, just ask the question, because the only stupid question is the one that's not asked, because someone else may be thinking of the same question and just hadn't put pen to paper, basically. But yeah, just along the way, if there's something you feel you want expanded on, I will if I can, and there is a good source here if I can't, that I'll be falling back on them. But we go back to 1848, when a family moved into a house. This was out in America, in New York State, a place called Hydesville. And when you think of back that time, people hadn't much luxuries. things was very much foot to mouth and mouth to foot. You just worked and you hadn't any of the extras. But the children were sleeping in a room, and they were wakened at night by rappings on the door. Rappings that couldn't be explained. The parents went to each side of the door, and there was no one to be seen, yet and all they knew the door. There was raps coming from the door. So the children eventually started to think, I'll ask questions and see if I get the answers. And what they did, they went and said to whoever was making these raps, it's 2 knocks for yes and 1 for no. And this was the start of actually modern spiritualism. Hi, Sylvia. Thank you. Sylvia's the lady that does all the lovely graphics and videos for the shows. Thank you. What happened then is this happened for a number of nights, and as time went on, we had to, I suppose, look and see what was happening in the broader scale of things. People started then to hear about it, and as people were hearing about it, the word got out to say, I'll see if they're able to answer the questions that I can put to them. And this is how it all started. It started from that very simple origins that we actually are able to sit here today, and gradually over time we were able to talk about it and able to explore it. So the physical aspect of it was that the vibration the spirit was able to make was heard by everyone. It wasn't just in someone's imagination. It was everyone that was present was able to hear it and feel that vibration. So time went on, and there are several different approaches to that, where I think, in all honesty, it was a big burden for these girls to bear, and over time they supposedly admitted to fraudulently claiming, but nevertheless it was already proven. It wasn't something that could be explained. People that gathered, used to go to big halls, and people would gather and get information from the spirit world. So you see, if you follow the trail of information that there is there, if you're skeptic, it actually will. It will convince you, and I know there's no need to convince anyone, but the proof is there of where modern spiritualism originated, and that's important to just have that little we'll say element of knowledge and information in the background, so that you'll be able, if sometime in the future, if something happens, you'll be able to connect all the pieces together. Today we can talk about physical mediumship in a much more open way, but yet we have to equally be aware of the impact that it has on the medium that is the physical medium. Now it's more the fact. Hi, Olivia. Annalicia, you're welcome. I forgot to say ciao to my Italian friends. Forgive me, because I just get carried away with talking. When we come up to the more recent times, what we have far more happening now is that the physical mediums actually work with a substance called ectoplasm. Ectoplasm is a substance that's created with energy from the medium and whoever's sitting with the medium, and the spirit of the communicators. So what we have is a combination that's a teamwork. You'll always hear me talking about the team. The team is guides and helpers. And when you have the right environment, you will have the spirit world are able. Morella, how are you? Very welcome. When the spirit team are able to come together with you and whoever is sitting in the power, they're able to create and manifest so many things, like even in human form. We'll talk, that probably will be down the line another day. But what can be done in a seance environment is the medium will sit for trance. And as the medium sits for trance, our guides comes closer and closer. And this is where they're able to blend then with the energy of the medium. That process happens, and then what happens then, communicators can come in and work through the medium's guide and deliver messages to those that are sitting. That's generally done in a very safe environment. And I mean by safe environment where it's not going to be interrupted by people coming in or noise, or it's a very safe environment is needed. And to, I suppose, illustrate how important that is, there was a famous medium, physical medium, Helen Duncan, and Helen would have seances all over, and she would sit for trance, and then her guides would come in and they would produce, physically, they can produce forms of the human body. It was known as witchcraft, of course, by the powers that be, and so they were determined to stamp that out. So they used to raid the seances, and as it became quite a problem to find a place where they weren't going to know what was happening. Now, at that stage, I suppose people talked, and it was difficult for them to find the right place. With Helen, sorry, my head keeps going 90. With Helen, she was sitting for trance in a seance, and the police came and arrested her. And when this ectoplasm, what happens is when there's something happens quickly like that, it goes back into the medium's body, and it goes back in when normal circumstances, nice and slowly, it's retracted. But in this particular case, what happened, because there was a disruption, it went back into her body very quickly and burned her whole inside. And it turned out then a few weeks later, she passed away as a result of it. Now, if you think of, that was back in 1956. If you think of you know, how the whole atmosphere then about mediumship and what was happening with it became quite, I suppose, exploited, and very much, I think, something that was veered away from. Hi, Gaetano, how are you? People veered away then from doing it, and then it became even more underground. One of the more recent mediums that was of excellent caliber in his work was, believe it or not, George Best's uncle, Albert. And Albert was a postman in his day job. And what he would do, he could rhyme off, if a communicator came in, we'll say for you, He'd be able to tell you your address, down to the last number. He was able to relay that type of information through the guides to you. That made him very much wanted across the board, because it was something that was, he'd go to a big hall where there was thousands of people, and he would do this. Someone in the audience would have a communicator coming through, and this is how he would deliver his messages. Now, he was able to sit for trance and was able to deliver beautiful philosophy, really is what you could call it, but it was guidance as well, personally, for the people sitting in a circle. Hi, Mary. These are the things that with the spirit world are able to work with us, and they're able to give us information, and they're able to I suppose, let us know that they're with us, that they're able to understand what's going on for us. And that's very important, because even at this present time, where there is so much sadness and so much healing needed, that they will come and they will contact us in some form or another to get us to understand that they're with us. And I think if you just stop and take the time out to listen to what they're trying to do and say it to you, they have all this ability to communicate with you. And the reason I introduced that today is that I feel that people needs to be aware that it's just not all communication from the spirit world. It's just not all about delivering a message here and now. It's about letting you know that they're here with you at the different times that you actually are in need. You know, our forefathers down the generations, that energy, essence of energy, is with us all the time. So it's to be acknowledging them. If you sit for 5-10 minutes and sit with them and just ask them to give you something that you know is the key to knowing that it's that person, that your mum, your dad, your partner, whoever it may be. It's so important just to acknowledge their presence. Because you can imagine if someone coming to your door and knocking on the door and trying to get in, and you just dismiss them because you don't know who they are or whatever. And this is what's important in linking in with the spirit world, because as I say, they're able to connect with you in so many different ways. You know, if you have a garden, you've more than likely are going to have a robin in the garden. But a robin, when it's coming from the spirit world, will chirp at you to make sure that you're actually listening to them, and that you're acknowledging when it's a spirit, when it comes with the message from spirit. That's how they will work with you. When it's something that I suppose now what we have a little bit more of, we have commercialized mediumship, and while it still isn't open to go out and talk about physical mediumship, nevertheless it still has the element that you're able to get something from it, a feeling. We're going to be doing relaxation in a little while. Following the relaxation, what I'd ask you to do is to sit and just send out healing. Because when you relax, your energy, there's all of this energy that's present around us, within us. This is you. And if you put the intention out that you're sending healing, that's the most special gift you can give to someone. It really is, because anyone that's in need, it's like physically you may hold their hand, but at this present time you can't. Physically you can call them, yes, and just let them know that you're thinking of them. But what you can do is you can work with them and just send healing out without no intention of what the healing is for. What's important is that you send healing for the greater good. That means that you're not putting an intention that you want this to happen, that you want someone to be cured of this, or something to happen that's going to be. Hi, Paul. So it's this element of healing. The person may not even know that you're sending the healing, and that's fine once you're doing it for the greater good, because you're not manipulating energy. You're wishing them well. So when you do that, you're linking in with this energy that I'm talking about, that goes into it's different grades of it. It's getting deeper and deeper and deeper into the element of healing, into the element of trance. It's all the same. It's all into the same dimension of energy, the essence of spirit. Any questions? Ciao, Deborah. See, I talk, my voice is actually going because I've been talking quite a lot today. But I have to apologise for yesterday. Yesterday was my doing. I made a mistake because I was working last Saturday, and I used to work Saturday evenings. I used to do the shows on the Saturday evenings. And something just struck with me yesterday evening that I wasn't on the right track, and so my apologies for that, but we were scheduled for this evening. Okay, what I'm going to do is talk to you a little bit more about where we come in with that physical mediumship, and we talk. One of the areas that we can talk about on that score is where there's the Ouija board, which is in a lot of places it's looked at in negativity. And the strange thing about it is that what we have now in Ireland, I don't know about any other country, but we have angel boards. And to be honest, the two is the exact same. You look, there's no difference. It's how we perceive things that's the difference. We look at something and we think of it through our history. We identify something through what we've heard. Hello, Marie, how are you? We look at it through what the fears and the feelings we've had in the past. I'm not saying to anyone to do it, but I'm just saying that's an element of our physical mediumship. We have to recognise that there are so many different ways that we can communicate. We can communicate through something called table tilting. These are all different ways of communicating, where the spirit world will use the table, tilting it back and forth. It's very similar to what we would have in a Ouija board, because it's using the same energy back and forth all the time. So these are aspects that gives us the road into communicating. All of these areas within physical mediumship shows to everyone. So it's not just one. It's not just one person. When we would work in, we'll say, having a sitting with someone or doing a public demonstration, in those situations, the mental mediumship, it's called, it's taken in through the mind of the medium. And it's in that respect, it is influenced by the mind of the medium, because it is their experiences that they're able to relay the information to you. So when you would have something that you use externally, that does away with that, because what you're doing, everyone that's present can see it and experience it. So it's far more independent, and it's objective. I suppose that's really what you could call it. Being able to, okay. And Marie, how can we be certain that they are good spirits that are coming through, Bridie? Okay. How can we be certain? The thing about the law is that like attracts like. So when you're working with love, you're working within that dimension. There is no gain for, we'll say, the negative spirit energy. There's no gain for them to interfere with you. Now, I know there was something came up there a week or so ago about what someone was afraid of. How could you stop tricksters coming in on, we'll say, on a Ouija board or any of the physical aspects? Within ourselves, we have positive and we have negative. We have light, we have dark. Within that, there is the trickster within us. We're not all saints. So what you have is when there's something comes through, you need to look at the energy within you. What is it that it's like? How would I put it? You would see when you look at, you take 5 people and they look at one person, and you ask them to give the view of that one person. Each person that's viewing, we'll say the sitter, we'll call the person the sitter, each person will have a different perspective on that one person. Yet and all, they're all sitting, looking at the person at the same time. So within that, what we have all of these aspects of ourselves that are part of us. And if something is happening that you're not happy with, all you need to do is pull back in and center yourself. And when you center yourself, you come back into the center core of energy, and you just finish at that. You don't keep harping at it, because it's what's going on for you at the present time that would actually create that. So you would pull the curtains and say, this is okay, I'm just stopping for now. So if there's someone tricking with you, we'd say they're moving things around and whatever, there's a lot to do with where we are in ourselves. So just say, hold on a minute. And I know we've had a case, and I'm not going to say who it is. There's this lady that her husband passed some years ago. And after he passed, she was standing at the kitchen sink and was asking him to let her know that he was present and knew how she was and what was happening for her. At that time, she had a sunflower outside. It was close by the window. And what she did, I think, was one of the most phenomenal things, I think, because I know I had a photo of it for some time, and changing the phone, I lost it. But he actually, there was a bee working on the center of the sunflower. And what the bee did was he worked to create a heart shape out of the center of the flower. It was one of those very, very beautiful ways of communicating, and that let her know that he was there and he was able to let her be and would be there to help. So you see, we definitely have, yeah, we definitely have that link with the spirit world, that they're able to get into us, and there is that aspect there that's the trickster in the sense, and I've never come across anything negative coming in from the spirit world, never. Trickster, yeah, because they will have fun, but there's a difference between having fun and having, hi Fran, there's a difference between having fun and doing something that is not nice. But all you need to do, if you ever feel that you're uncomfortable, is just say, okay, this is not, I'm closing down. I'm not going to participate in this. We have to take responsibility for our own actions, and by doing that, you're going to keep your safeguards in place. Allow yourself the space to assess what's happening, and don't be fooled into thinking that automatically this or that. You know, I could go on a rant about things about people, what they put down to spirit world, and I won't even start, because if I start I won't stop. It is so much, there's so much in the spirit world. They're not going to hurt you. They're not going to do anything that is going to cause you distress. And it's important to be aware that the love that there was when they were here, that's there, that's the connection you have with them. And even when it's someone that you don't know very well, there's a connection with that person that we don't always understand why Tom down the road was sending us a message. The spirit world, acknowledge them, that they're working with you. Your team is going to be there and protect you, and they won't put you wrong once you trust and work from the core of love. Does that answer your question, Marie? Thought you'd like that, all right. All right. Any other questions before we move on? The gin is great. It can't be seen in the glass. It'd be a great way around. All right. It's the living I fear. Yeah, definitely, Fran. Yeah, you're welcome, Marie. I lived opposite a graveyard for years. I grew up. I was, and it used to be quite funny in the sense there was open space, and if someone was walking, it was just a village, a small village, and if someone had to walk up past the graveyard, they would actually run, because what would happen is there was a street light, and you would have the light reflecting on the headstones as they were walking. And a few occasions we had someone that would call in because they were that afraid of. But you see, where the mind can do 90, the mind can create and manifest within that energy. So it's not, our fear is of the living, and I would have no problem. I never feared the spirit world. Okay, it's 25 to, so what I'm going to ask you to do, and I want to go back here, Deborah. Hopefully you'll be able to follow what I'm doing. We breathe in and we breathe out, and we release the energy that holds on to tension as we breathe out. And we're going to do that. We'll see what happens. You know what I've been doing this last while? I've saying about relaxation. I'm just going to let it flow the way it's meant to flow, whatever that is, and we'll work with it. All right. So if you just find yourself a nice, quiet place, nice, comfortable chair, not too comfortable, definitely not lying on the bed. Nice, quiet, comfortable place where you're going to be interruption free. You're going to have the next 20 minutes where you're going to spend time on you. Just time where you're able to just be present in yourself. That didn't go off. That was what I should have done. See? My full apologies. That's all you'd need, isn't it? When you'd be in the midst of your relaxation. And I will say, your phone's off. Says she with a guilty face. So now what we're going to do, I feel we're going to work with colours. Okay. So you're just going to breathe in now. Breathe deep down into the pit of your tummy. And breathe out. And you're going to tell yourself now that this is your time to relax. Nice and relaxed. We're going to start with the feet, with your 2 feet firmly on the ground. Just be aware of drawn up energy from Mother Earth. And we'll start now with awareness of the muscles of your feet and ankles. Just be aware of any tension that you may be feeling. Stress in the muscles. So now with the inward breath, just breathe in an awareness. And as you breathe out, just allow the muscles of the feet to relax. We move up now into the muscles of the lower legs, up through the knees and into the thighs. So just as you breathe in, just focus on these muscles and just allow yourself to sink deep down into your chair and allow the muscle tension to leave. We move up now into the muscles of the pelvis and the abdomen. ourselves now to relax. So breathe in, breathe deep down into the pit of the stomach, and just allow any tension that you're feeling to leave with the outward breath. You're releasing and relaxing. We're going to move up now into the chest area. So with the inward breath, just breathe in with awareness of any tension that you're feeling. And as you breathe out, just allow the muscles to relax, and just allow your shoulders to sink down into your body. Just releasing and relaxing. Focus now on the muscles of the hands and the arms. Be aware how at times when you feel angry or anxious, these muscles can hold a lot of tension. So now it's time and safe to release that tension. So breathe in with awareness, and as you breathe out, release and relax. Now we're going to move up into the muscles, the shoulders into the neck. We often carry a lot of tension in the shoulder muscles as we're going through a stressful time. So it's safe now just to allow that tension to leave. Releasing and relaxing. Now focus on the muscles of the face and your head. Just allow these muscles now to relax and to release any tension that you're feeling. So with the inward breath, just visualize these muscles relaxing and releasing any tension that you're feeling. Just be aware now of anywhere that you may be holding any tension. And just give permission for that tension to leave. And as you feel relaxed now, just visualize a rainbow in front of you. You're looking out in the distance and you see the rainbow shining its colours brightly in its full glory. So now, as you breathe in, invite the red light of the rainbow into your energy force and into your pit of your stomach. Letting it radiate outwards. And allowing it to enter your cell in your body. That beautiful red light. You're surrounded by it. You can feel the warmth of it. You can feel the power of it. And we're going to move up now, and we're going to focus the area just around the navel. And you see the beautiful orange light of the rainbow. Just invite that orange light now to come towards you. And allow it to saturate your body now with that beautiful, vibrant orange. Just filling every morsel of your being. We're going to move up now to just below your rib cage, just below your breastbone. And we're going to invite the beautiful yellow light from the rainbow. Invite it to come towards you. And feel that energy, that very clear, bright energy. And allow it to fill every morsel of your being. I'm going to invite now beautiful pink energy from the rainbow. The energy of healing. So now invite this pink light to come towards you. And invite it into your body. Becoming aware of the beautiful warmth that comes with it. going to move up now to the throat area. Throat area is about energy to speak our truth. So now as you breathe in, just allow that energy to come from the rainbow. Just allow it to come in to your energy field and fill every morsel of your being. And we're moving up now to just above your eyebrows, center point between your eyebrows, just above the line, the top line. So now you're going to breathe in that beautiful magenta. Just being aware of the strength, being aware of the power of your spirit. Now we're going to move up to above the crown of your head. That beautiful violet light, that misty violet shading. So just to be aware now that as you breathe in, you're breathing in that light. Now your whole body is full of colour. Now is the time where that colour will heal where there's balance needed. Just you're breathing in all the colours now. Feeling very relaxed. And at one with yourself. So now I'm going to ask you just to think of someone close to you that you feel healing would be for them. So just for the greater good, just send out the thought that as you radiate with all your colours, that you send healing to that person who you feel would benefit from it. And now continue on this healing journey by sending out healing to whoever is in need and wherever they are in need. beautiful healing energy. Now it's time to come back into awareness, back into awareness of your body and where you're sitting. Just move your fingers and toes and follow that movement through your body. Open your eyes when you're ready. I always find it amazing how we can come together remotely and feel the power that's generated by a group. It's, it's quite natural when you're in sitting physically together. It's quite easy to build that energy, but I've never experienced until getting involved in this project that you could actually become aware globally of energy coming together and working together. Very beautiful energy, and I'll just leave it at that for now. Thank you for coming and joining. Tomorrow evening or tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock we're doing the psychic exercise bit, so just have a pen and paper. You may need it, you may not. I always say, like, we'll go with where the flow takes us. For everyone, you're very welcome. It was lovely. And Joyce, is it? I'm not sure. I can't pronounce your name because I'm sure there's a lot of Irish names we can't pronounce either. You're very welcome. It is lovely working with you. There's something very special in the group that's coming together. That's what's lovely. We'll see whoever is able to make it tomorrow. You'll be very welcome. And as I say, you'll be coming with your questions as well, because I always say it's your show. It's about sharing information and knowledge. It's thank you, John, and thank you to all of you. It was really lovely. And Sylvia, yeah, it was. Like, look at my face. I'm just burning up now at the energy. Good job I didn't put on the heating, which I thought of beforehand. But yeah, on Friday as well, I'm here tomorrow at 3 and Friday at 3, which will be more about questions and exploring on Friday. But tomorrow is psychic exercises. So I wish you well and bless you. Thank you for joining me this evening. Bye, ciao.